Yeah. I mean, me personally, I'm a stock guy, and I do my own investing, but I remember in the very beginning when I first got some money, I got a financial advisor. And I remember in our first meeting, the first thing I said was, how much money do you have? What's your net worth? And he kind of was shocked. He said, no one's ever asked me that before. And I'm like, no one's asked you that before. Why would I invest my money with someone who has less money than me? That doesn't make any sense. And, ultimately I ended up leaving after a few months and just ended up doing my own investing myself. I own real estate as well, the house I live in, but, most of my wealth was in the stock market. But, it's almost like everyone has their own preference. Me and Grant Cardone have had a lot of interviews about this and so forth, and we have our debates. But ultimately, as long as you're investing in something, you're going to end up okay at the end. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We learn by life experience. We learn by mistakes. We learn from bad teachers and good teachers. And the reason I like real estate is I kind of have to do it on my own. I'm not buying there's a thing called REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust.
Right.
So you can invest in real estate via paper, which is REITs. You can invest in gold via, GLD.
GLD, right.
An ETF, or an SLV, which is silver. I don't touch any of that stuff. I own my own gold mines. I own my own silver mines. I took one of my gold mines public last summer, 2022. On the New York Stock Exchange. It's the richest gold mine in America. But Vlad, you know how many stupid mistakes I had to make to get there?
I bet.
Again, that's what we were teaching, that we make mistakes are how we learn. But our schools punish you if you make mistakes.
Well, you're doing these seminars, and at age 46, in 1993, you wrote your first book, which was, if you want to be rich and happy, don't go to school.
Correct.
Now, this was before Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When you put out this book, was it successful at all or no?
Yeah, it became a bestseller.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, but this is it, Vlad. It goes back to my decision to become a salesman. As my rich dad said to me, if you can't sell, you won't get laid. Well, if you can't sell, you shouldn't be an author. Because I'm a best-selling author, and all the academic types like the New York Times and the book companies and all this, they attack me. They say, you're not a good writer. I said, well, that's why I flunked out of high school, because I can't write. But it's not that I couldn't write, Vlad. The teacher did not like what I was writing. There's a difference. So I went, this is the story of, you want to be rich and happy, don't go to school. Simon & Schuster called me. And I went to New York and I sat down with Simon & Schuster. And the head guy sat down there and says, this book, if you want to be rich and happy, don't go to school, it's a pretty good book. I could take it now. But this guy looked at me straight in the eye and says, you haven't told me what you know. And I sat down, I looked at this guy. I said, what do you mean I haven't told you about it? He says, I know you know something. What do you know? This guy was like psychic or something. And I went back home. I said, what do I know? He says, when you write the book of what you know, you'll have an international bestseller. Because Rich Dad, if you want to be rich and happy, don't go to school, was pretty good. It wasn't a mega bestseller, but it was making its way through the rounds because I could sell it. And so finally I sat there and I was doing a real estate development in Arizona. And at night I would sit out in my little house and I was typing my new book out. And all of a sudden I'm typing this new book and it goes, what do I know? What do I know? And all of a sudden it came out, I had a rich dad and I had a poor dad. And that was the start of Rich Dad, Poor Dad.